Let's face it, as humans, there is very little that is quite as satisfying as being proved resoundingly right about something. Whether that is guessing the baddie in the detective fiction, backing the right horse at the Melbourne Cup, or just being right about how your partner was going to feel about that extra bottle of wine that they drank at dinner last night the following morning. Regardless of how satisfying this is, however, it is also that notion of being right is also one of the biggest blocks that you can have to making progress when you're working in a design thinking or a wicked problem or a creative space. Because those spaces are fluid, they are messy, they are full of ambiguity, and they change all the time. And so being right in a space like that is absurd, right? It is, by definition, the concept of being right is subjective and it's relative. So if we know this, and we do, then how come we hold on to it so tightly? Well, part of the reason is that it's the way we're brought up. You know, we are rewarded and taught that there is a right and a wrong way of getting to the right and the wrong answer and the right and the wrong subjects all the way through school. And being right is associated with having value and status. And being wrong is associated with being a failure or incompetent, none of which we really want to be thinking of ourselves as, right? So, right. So also the concept of being right, or the concept of right, assumes that there is an objective truth to be had, which might be useful if you are wanting to keep the wings on your plane as you are shooting off on your glamorous holiday, but not so much when you're working in a fluid, wicked space like anything to do with relationships or communication or leadership or culture. Because in those spaces where they're fluid, they are automatically subjective, which means that you and I are going to see the situations differently, as will anybody else, and all of us are going to have a completely different notion of what right means in that kind of context. So when you take that and then you put it ahead, you get to the point that being right is not only irrelevant, it actually makes things worse. It puts a block on any movement or progress. From our own perspectives, if we think that we're right, it makes us rigid and less open to new ideas, new ways of seeing things, other people's opinions, and to working fluidly. And it also makes us judgmental, which shuts other people down. So all sides get shut down, and you don't make the movement or the progress that you need to. So if you're working in a design thinking or a wicked space, it is useful to remember that there is no such thing as being absolutely right or wrong, or absolutely good or bad. Things are just useful or not useful. And if you want to create movement, if you want to make things happen and make those things happen in a meaningful and relevant way, then instead of asking, what's the right answer, or what's the right thing to do, try asking instead the following questions. Ask, is it useful? And if so, how? And what can we do with it? Because if you ask those questions, you're guaranteed to create movement. You're guaranteed to allow yourselves to be able to work together better to create something awesome. And if you'd like more tips and tricks about working with design thinking and wicked problems, then please go to my website, mofox.com, download my free ebook, Stick It, and sign up to my newsletter. It comes out every couple of weeks, or follow me on LinkedIn. Thank you, and look forward to seeing you soon.